Yeah, it was a good win for us. First of all, offensively, I thought it was our best performance. We executed, controlled the line of scrimmage, were able to run the ball, ran the ball with power, broke a lot of tackles. I think we had 17 broken tackles, made them miss tackles is how we kind of counted up, which was really a good job. And not all by the running back. Some of that was in the passing game, obviously. Ty Scott did a great job running with the ball, too. And then we executed the passing game, and particularly on third down. It was our best third down performance of the year, which was great to see. Jason did a nice job of distributing the ball, mixing it around, moving in the pocket, keeping his vision downfield. And it was good to see, they took different things away from us, and our progression allowed us to throw the ball in different spots than we have in other games. So it was good to see us execute the progression reads and make those throws. Defensively, it was a pretty dominant performance with the exception of the big plays. We gave up those big plays, and they were well executed on their part. The good throws, good catches. We're in position to make plays on a couple of them. We need to work harder on playing the ball deep down the field. We work on it every week. We've come over and brought receivers and quarterbacks over to throw the ball to make it a better drill for them. And it is showing up, the interceptions. We had 2 really good interceptions on deep balls where we had to go up and time the ball and catch it at a high point. So that was good to see show up. But trying to get rid of those big plays. But other than that, our ability to stop the run, Eric Johnson's ability to dominate the front and get after the quarterback. And he did a good job with some escapes. We weren't sure how mobile he was going in, but he did a good job, I thought, running around, making some plays. But when you continue to get the pressure, continue to make him have to exit the pocket and run, I think that's where the Braswell interception for a touchdown showed up. So that was great to see. It's good to see special teams stand up in our punt return game with the blocked punt, something that I think Coach Fishback did a great job of in the scheming and working on it, how we practiced it all week, and then having it show up and be a big play. That changed the game a lot, gave us a short field, and we were able to I don't think we threw the ball, we just ran the ball in for a touchdown to get the score up by 14, so that was good. Other than that, I'll just open up for questions.
Jason, with his best throwing performance of his career, just to see him take steps each week, just where have you seen him grow the most from beginning to now?
He does a really nice job of understanding defenses, understanding coverages and movements, and he has the poise in the pocket, to go through his progression and make the plays. Thought the receivers did a good job for him. They made some really good plays for him. But he's going to just continue to get more comfortable with the offense and understanding where to distribute the ball. It was an impressive performance to me just because of, how we practiced some things. They took away where the number 1 and number 2 receiver was, and he was able to get it to number 3, which was, that's when a quarterback gets it a little bit. Or a play where you run the same play and you throw it to number 1, number 2, and number 3, all in the progression. So, and his poise in the pocket, I think, is something that's really helped our team.
Keeping with the passing game, you guys averaged 16.8 yards per completion. What about their defense allowed you to get, more than, almost 2 first downs per completion in that game? What did you see from them that allowed you to push the ball downfield like that?
We had a couple of big ones that always, get the percentage up per completion up a little bit. I actually felt like I was being really conservative calling the game. I was kind of mad at myself and thinking we should take a few more shots down the field, but then we hand the ball off and run and get 14 yards or 12 yards or, so we didn't need to. But we had some good explosive plays. Obviously the touchdown to Latulis was huge for us. I like the way our receivers are playing. When you turn the video on and you see their get off, how they're coming off the ball, the precision on the routes, it's tremendous improvement from where we were at in the spring. And I think that cushion that they give us now instead of playing as tight as possible, affects how open you are and your ability to make yards after the catch.
A touchdown pass to Latulis, it comes after a timeout there to where you guys can separate it. When you dialed that up, did you feel like you had a big play just kind of coming out of that timeout and where it could go explosive like that?
We felt like we did if we hit the right coverage, that, you know, that was your chance for the big play, touchdown play, and then if we hit a different coverage, here's where we would get the first down. You know, it was something that we worked on throughout the week. We ran that same motion and ran a couple other plays off of it. So this was kind of a variation that, you know, I thought really helped us. We hit the right coverage. You know, he got lucky to hit the right coverage, and you know, he's so fast and explosive that, and it was a perfect throw. When he threw it, though, I thought he overthrew it. It's like, ah, great throw. You know, one of those. And, it was a good catch too. I mean, he could really track the ball. That's, you know, if it wasn't to Kevon, I'm not sure if we'd get it caught.
And we're looking at those two running backs. I mean, Tobias is able to put his head down and run through everybody, and it felt like Kevon's just, he's going to have that 75-yard run eventually. It just kind of feels like just how you're able to balance just knowing who's going to be out on the field, is it just hot hand, or just how do you go with that?
Yeah, well, we try to keep them fresh, one thing. You know, Tobias did a great job. I told him during the game they can't tackle you. Just keep hitting it hard and running. He's breaking tackles, he's seeing holes, he's making great cuts, running the ball in the end zone. He was clicking, he was seeing it, and he was explosive. You know, and he's a big, powerful man that's going to be able to explode and run through tackles. It was really good to see. And Kevon had a couple plays where I thought they were going to be touchdowns too. And I think it's just experience. The more carries he gets, where to make the cut. He's got to understand how fast he is. You know, sometimes running backs cut back, and that's when they don't trust their speed. He's fast. He needs to quit cutting back so much and trust his speed, go out, run people. And I think that stopped him a couple times from getting the huge play that we thought was there.
Coach, with your defense playing so well, I was kind of curious about how helpful is that in terms of how you can approach things offensively, you know, when you start looking at your game plans and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it helps you tremendously. It gives you, you know, be a lot more aggressive and be able to, you know, work together. I think that's what it helps, is be able to work together. But defensively, also being able to stop the run allowed us to get the ball more and have more possessions and more opportunities. And one of the things that, you know, going into the game you're always concerned about with that team is that they grind it out and control the ball, and you're standing on the sideline offensively. That didn't happen. We were able to force them into, you know, third and long situations, or situations where they had to throw the ball to convert third downs, and they weren't able to do it. So it helped us keep the ball.
Going back and watching Eric, just the attention that Eric Johnson demanded on that defensive line. They had 2-3 guys on him at some points during the game. Just, it doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, although he did have the sack. Just kind of what does he do for that defensive front, frees up things? Yeah,
you're right. The stat sheet is one thing, and then the other thing is we give out what we call factor grades, where he's a major factor on that play, and he had a ton of factor grades. Just his, you know, explosiveness and his ability to keep working, keep going, make the quarterback move early so we couldn't see the progression. Although he made 2 good plays when he moved early, you got to give him the credit for that. But eventually it catches up to him. So he's a very powerful guy. Great hands, understands the game. He just keeps getting better and better. And I think what he found out was the harder he plays, the more dominant he can be.
For Tobias to bounce back from the injury that he had a couple of years ago and stick with it and then eventually have a big game like he had, how rewarding is that for you as a coach to see somebody persevere like that and eventually have that kind of game?
It's awesome. It's awesome because, you know, he was practicing so well. He was going to be the starter for us at running back, and then it might have been like the third last play of the scrimmage, and it happened, and it was, you know, it was hard. He did a great job of, you know, working through it, staying positive, making sure he got his schoolwork, got his degree. You know, that's the thing that was so good. A credit to him is his attitude going through a tough situation and his positiveness. And then when he, you know, wanted to come here, it was like, no-brainer. Let's get him here, get going. He was a little rusty. It's been a while, since he ran the ball like that. He fielded it out for a little bit, but you could just see it starting to come together. I thought last year, spring, whenever it was, the last time we played the season, I thought in the last part of the season he was starting to really get back to where he was, and now he's there. So it's good to see. He's a guy that can do a lot of things. We've seen him run the ball. He can block. Had some great pass pro pickups the other day that really allowed us to convert third downs. And he also has great hands out of the backfield. So he's an overall back.
Do you think Jose made 2 of those field goals?
I thought the second one he made, but they didn't care what I thought. It's a bad rule, really, because if the ball goes over the upright, then they won't review it. So if it's not kicked high enough, they'll review it. But if it goes higher than the top of the upright, then they won't review it. So I don't know if he made it or didn't make it. I know when the player's out on the field thinks he made it, there's a pretty good chance that he did, because they're the first ones to see it going through. So, but like I said, they didn't really care what I thought.
Hey, you talk about the strides in special teams. You had a roughing the punter in there. You had a couple missed field goals, but everything else seemed to kind of click there. You had a touchdown that was kind of called back there, but it seemed like that was kind of a step in the right direction for special teams.
Yeah, we worked hard at it, and our guys are practicing hard and take pride in it. That punt, we call our punt return team our SWAT team. They worked really hard on blocking punts all week long. We were committed to going after it, going and getting a chance to get it. We didn't get it the first time. We felt like we were close, and he got it off in such a great time. It was like, well, do we come again? And we decided to do it again and come up with a huge play. So it was great to see the hard work pay off, because we were kind of on him the week before about not getting the job done. And then it was great for Wood to have that return, even though it didn't count. It's going to be great for his confidence. And like I said, I was not going to take him out from being our returner because of the way he's practiced, what he's shown to us in practice. It's just that very first time under the lights, I guess, got him a little bit.
Coach, you talk about Youngstown just a little bit. You saw them at the end of last year when you were able to clinch that co-championship. Just talk a little bit about this team.
Yeah, the first thing they have is that great running back. He's truly a threat. He was the number one concern of us playing him in the spring and being able to stop him. He does a lot of things. He's so quick. He's, all over the place. He's hard to tackle. He makes you miss. He jumps out, out of the way. He's got a great change of direction. So we've got to be disciplined in our gap control. We've got to sprint to the ball. The first guy, he's going to try to jump around and go. So we have to get more guys to the football. And, we did a pretty good job defending him in the spring. So we've got to continue to do that. That's the number one thing that I think defensively we have to do. Offensively, we have to not make mistakes and execute, do our job like we did Saturday. They give us a lot of different looks. Their defense is a lot of more looks than we've seen all year long on what their fronts and coverage is and things that they do. So it's really up to us to be disciplined. And if we do that and we get the front block, then we can make big plays against them. But we've got to make sure we do our responsibility, have good eyes, good vision, see where they're at, and communicate like we did a week ago.
You look at tape of that game and then looking forward to Saturday game. How much has your team improved from that to this?
I didn't look at it that way. Sorry, I can't really say it. I was watching the defense. I wasn't watching, what we were doing really. I was just watching what the defense, where guys are lined up. Because like I said, they move guys around a lot. They give you a ton of different looks. So we have to kind of really understand, the main guys in their defense, because that's who will kind of give us an idea what they're doing.
You guys are ranked 16th. You stayed there in this week's poll, didn't move around. 6 of the teams in the Valley are ranked all over the place. Do do you look at that ranking? Do you care about that ranking? Does it bother you that you didn't move up any?
I didn't see it, so I didn't know. We've been working all morning, so, I think what we need to do is worry about 1 week at a time, going out and playing, getting better, not worrying about things like that. But I do know our players look at it. I mean, they've had kind of a chip on their shoulder since we started, where we were ranked and the teams we beat in the spring. And so I do know that they pay attention to it, and they should probably, as long as we go out and practice hard and work on the process and, use it as a motivating factor, I think it's okay.
Dimitri Moore didn't travel, just kind of what's his status right now?
Yeah, he was out. He wasn't able to practice last week, so we'll see how he does this week. I'm not sure where he's at for our run this afternoon.
Is Van Dyne QB2?
He went in the other day. Yeah, we've kind of been rotating him in and going through practice, and we decided to give him the reps the other day. There weren't many of them, unfortunately. We wanted to get a first down and let those guys get work and get in there. And we had Jeremiah in there at running back, and we wanted to see him live because he got here late after scrimmages were over with. That was really the first time he's had live tackle. And then on one play went the wrong way. So that kind of took Jake out, not getting the reps that he needed.
Yeah, Ferrin, just kind of your guys' response there in the second half. Just kind of would you notice the flip? Of course, giving up less big plays, but anything just kind of changed defensively mindset?
Our coaches just really have a good plan at halftime, making good adjustments, and I feel like that's what really helped us lock them up in the second half. It's just making key adjustments, and it was really like I feel like everything we gave up, we gave to them. It wasn't really earned, and we just locked in and tightened up really.
You talk about adjustments. I mean, that's a few weeks in a row now. All 4 games, really some halftime adjustments. When you get kind of near the end of the first half, does it give you confidence going into halftime, just knowing, hey, we're going to be able to flip, we're going to find a way to flip this around?
Yeah, no matter what like part of the game we're at, like good or bad, I feel like our team's really confident that we're going to end up picking it up and doing the right thing, and like I said, making those adjustments from our coaches. And we really trust our coaches in that.
Is that like halftime speeches? What's going on at halftime? Where you guys are?
Halftime they'll usually like have the board drop like each play that we mess up on, and then just stuff like that.
Do you get frustrated with stuff, but knowing that you can make that flip, does it keep you guys from getting really frustrated out there?
Yeah, like I said, I feel like our team, we all like believe in each other, and we all know that we put the work in already. That it's just like ourselves that are messing up, and we can fix that easily.
Tobias, when you think back on the game you had, how would you describe it?
It was one to remember, definitely. I never had a game like it. It was fun. It was definitely unexpected. I know I was going to have a good game. I felt good. Everybody felt good the morning before. Had a good breakfast. So it was a pretty good day for me,
What's for breakfast?
I had some potatoes, eggs, some chicken. Yeah.
You're going to do that again, right?
I might.
Your journey to get here is kind of a unique one. You started at Louisville, and then Coach mentioned that you had that injury into the camp. I mean, what made you want to continue battling through that and get back on the football field?
I've been playing football since I was about 4 or 5 years old. So this is all I know. You know what I mean? It's like second nature to me. I just can't give up something that I love.
Do you remember anything about that play, or do you try to block it out?
I remember a lot about it. Yeah, vividly, to be honest with you. But I try not to think about it or like replay it in my head. It just keeps me going, keeps me cautious.
What was the conversation like to get you here to Missouri State?
Oh, it wasn't a hassle. I basically hit up Coach Fauci and was like, hey, I'm finna hit the transfer portal. I'm gonna play for you guys. He just told me to come on. So I did what I had to do. I graduated in December. Signed my scholarship in I think January. I moved in right after. So the rest is I'm still here doing my thing.
What'd you graduate with?
Double major in communication and criminal justice.
You guys when you have guys bouncing off of you like you did the whole game, I don't know how many missed tackles they ended up having trying to bring you down, but just kind of what's the feeling like when you're able to kind of get in that zone?
My coaches actually asked me the same question. I just told them I don't really know why I was playing this that way. I haven't played that way since 2018. So maybe it was just one of those days, you know, I did get in the zone. Hopefully I can catch that zone every Saturday. I don't know.
I was looking at some of your numbers from the past, and no touchdowns up to Central Arkansas game a couple weeks ago. So was it kind of I don't know if I'm ever going to score, or what was it like whenever you got that first touchdown under your belt?
Usually when I go into a game, I don't think about scoring. I just think about playing the game, play by play, and whatever happens, happens. At the end of the play, going to the next play. So I wasn't surprised that I scored because I play running back, so I was supposed to do. But
was it surprising that it took that long or anything, or was it annoying or anything?
I have patience. That's one thing about me. I have patience. So if it comes, it comes. If it does it, then it does. I'll wait till next week. You know.
What's that 1-2? What do you kind of describe that 1-2 punch between you and Kevon kind of like? I mean, you're the one that can stick your head down, but he's kind of one that can outrun everyone.
Yeah, he was an explosive person, like Coach G said. Earlier in the game, I told him I couldn't find my rhythm. I told him just do what he can. I'll just pass block and do whatever I can until when I do find our rhythm. And that we do realize that we have each other back, whatever happens. So if I'm not having a bad game, he'll have a good game. It's just holding the rope at the end of the day.
Ferrin, you're part of a pretty nasty front seven. What's it like watching those defensive linemen go to work in front of you?
I would say that my defensive linemen really do all the dirty work. They take up most of the blocks. That lets me run free, and that's why I'm able to make a lot of plays because of my great D linemen.
And you and Tyler, I mean, you're sideline to sideline. You guys play with a lot of emotion. Where does playing with that type of passion come from?
For me, like my whole life, I was really always overlooked. Like getting recruited out of high school and stuff. I actually had to go junior college. So like going junior college, you have to have that chip on your shoulder to come out and make it out. If not, you're not going to make it out because a lot of people go to junior college and not everybody makes it out. There's just a handful. And Tyler's a junior product, JUCO product too. I feel like we both just never lost that taste of getting overlooked.
Ferrin, can you just talk about, as a linebacker, when you're going up against a team that just wants to run the ball? I mean, did you look in your child and you're like, man, this is going to be fun?
Yeah, all week, I mean, me and him both knew that we were going to get a lot of action. Because like you said, they run, like, before us, they would run the ball probably like 70–80% of the time. So yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking coming into the game. I was like, all right, I'm going to have to show out this game.
And you got another one with the Penguins. They kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, so back-to-back games we're going to be eating.
You look at, you talk about the guys on the defensive line doing the dirty work, but I mean, you look at Eric taking 2 to 3 guys up the other day. Kevin always demands a ton of attention.
Yeah.
So what are those guys like when you kind of go back and watch it over and see how much they're helping?
Man, I mean, how much they do, I can't really say in words to describe how much they do, but they both work hard, and I feel like it makes me free to make a bunch of plays.
Tobias, I was looking up some YouTube clips earlier, and there's one that says Tobias Pee Wee Little. I mean, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, want to go to school highlight tape.
I mean, you look like you're like 6'3", running over kids that are about 5 foot tall.
Yeah, I've been about the same size since about 7th grade.
Does that get brought up much, or?
It used to. It used to a lot, especially when I first got in college. Because when I first got in college, Coach P watched that highlight tape, and that's what made him put me in for play. So.
Do you still go by Pee Wee, or is that kind of thing?
Yeah, I still go by Pee Wee. It's really a family name, but it just came with me, so I don't mind it.
But your last name, it's kind of weird. I mean, Little, when you run like a big guy. I mean, just kind of, how much do you kind of take pride in that? Do you joke around about that at all?
I don't mind it. I mean, some people do joke around about it, but it's my last name, you know, so I'm supposed to stand for it, but I don't really care too much about it.
I'm sure you've heard the puns your entire life.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What's the most annoying one?
Why is the last name Little and you're so big? that's probably the most funniest one I hear all the time. So.
How many of us would it take to bring you down? And you look at all of us in here.
Probably all of y'all.